Hey, you guys, welcome to the Ultra Life podcast. I am your host, Samantha Nivens. I'm a ultramarathon athlete, performance coach, and mom of two amazing little boys. And I'm here to help you guys all live your ultra life, whatever that means for you, which means to me, you are in the best shape of your life. And while you go after that big AF professional business or life goal, in my world, you get to do both because they actually synergize and energize each other to propel you to 100x your results versus just 2x or 10x or wait and do one and then maybe you'll have time to do the other. No, 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 no. We do them together in my world and it fucking works. So excited to have you guys here. And today's episode is on lessons that I'm taking away from attending the Freedom Queen Live conference. That was incredible this past weekend. It was in St. Petersburg, Florida, and it was hosted by Bridget James Ling. I would definitely go find her. That's literally her Instagram tag. And honestly, all of the speakers, gosh, I want to say there's like 15 speakers, maybe more. All of them were absolutely incredible. It was a room full of 400, mostly women, queens, just absolutely surrounded by these queens and these speakers who are up to big fucking shit, y'all. Like, who are up to such big things that it would like blow your mind. It blew my mind listening to it. So I wanted to share with you guys the lessons that I'm taking away with this because you can take them for yourself with the goals that you're working on. How can you find yourself and use any of these lessons to take your goals and your vision to the next level? Okay. And we're like, when I'm recording this, it's the end of November. So, y'all, like 2025 is around the corner. Don't discount what you can do in 2024. And let's also start to set yourself up your vision and goals for 2025, right? Ooh, I got some podcast episodes coming for you guys. Okay, so let's dive in. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see me look away. I've got my notes here for this. So, number one, I think the first thing, like the overarching theme and takeaway from this conference was expansive. That word is what like landed with me Sunday after the actual conference was I felt expanded and expansive. The things that I heard from some of these speakers, and let me give you an example. So Bridget literally showed us, and I didn't actually know who Bridget was before I just found out at the conference, like the end of August, and I was like, oh, who is this girl? You know? So essentially she went from, I believe it was 4 years ago, attending her very first conference ever. It was a Russell Brunson one. And literally you saw the picture of her and it said like rookie on her badge. And she was, fresh, green, and just starting her journey just 4 years ago, you guys. And now she has surpassed the millions within 4 years, right? And is leading an absolute movement of queens and many of the people on stage she has helped go from, $2,000 months in 2023 to I think it was almost $1 million or $1 million this year. Okay. Then there was Leanne Mosley, who I loved. She was a big one for me. When she spoke, and she has two boys, so boy mama connection there too. But she, again, quit her corporate career and essentially started her business from scratch and took it to 10 million in 4 years. And I'm like, don't quote me verbatim on these, but like it's 3 to 4 years, like got to the $10 million mark. You guys, as a mom, and she's not just like toiling away at work and not spending any time with her kids, right? These are just some examples. Oh, okay. We can't leave out one of my favorites, Becca Pike. I've coached with her before. I'm in one of her coaching containers right now. Highly recommend her. She's a mom of 4 and she went from waitressing. I loved her speech when she was literally stealing toilet paper at her waitressing job. That's like how government assistance, where she was at. And I want to say it was 6, maybe 7 years ago tops, that this was her situation. And then she learned how to massage and thought it was like the bee's knees and was like, holy fucking shit, everybody needs this, like a sports massage. Um, and then she opened quickly, grew from like doing her own massage to opening her first Massage Strong in Lexington, Kentucky, and then opened a second location. And at the same time, started to grow her own coaching business, and then bought her first actual business, like bought her a yoga studio. So essentially, she has scaled 4 businesses to 7 figures in the last 7 years from like being a waitress. Are you guys like getting the drift here? Are you like getting the vibe of like what the is possible? That is what these women, and I really loved the conference too, because this was, I mean, this is my situation. And so it resonates with me more. Like, I'm a mom. So like, I don't just live the single life of like, I can do whatever I want and work 68 hours a week if I wanted to. I don't want to necessarily, but that's not an option for me, right? I love to be with my boys and want to be a mama too. So it was, I would say half the women on this stage were moms. So it was super inspiring to see that, one, you can make a fuck ton of money and there's multiple different ways to do it. And look at all these women doing it. And 2, the expansive. So this is like expansiveness is like, it's not just, can we make enough money, especially as women, to like get by or get some things, right? I feel like that's like the MO of like, for us as women, we've been like shown or taught or, kept down. And these women are like, no, we make all the money. So expansive and how much money we can make. Expansive in the timeline. Like, it does not have to take 10 years to make $1 million. It does not have to take 5 years even. Like, these women are freaking crushing it and showing us how you can collapse timelines, AKA it's more expansive, right? And then expansive in the way that like you can run, as women, we can run a business, or men, like you guys as fathers and parents, we can run a business and have our family life and our personal relationships and all. And Becca works out just like I do. Like, she's an athlete too. So like, we can have it all, which is a principle of the Ultra Life, right? So it felt so expansive to hear what was possible through these incredible women. So that was like the overarching, like, of all the things, I feel like that is what came to me on Sunday when I finished the conference, is like expansive. Okay. Number 2 was being in the room, period. Like, by putting myself in this room, surrounded by 400 other powerful women who have big fucking goals and dreams unapologetically. Like, that's the room, like, with whatever goal your is, whether it's like when you go to a race, like when I go to an ultra marathon race, these are people that value their health and fitness and challenging themselves. It's a room, quote unquote, full of those people, right? This conference was a literal room full of these people. So being in the room in person, super fucking powerful. Like, cannot be matched is what I want to say. Like, yeah, I go on, networking, coaching calls, talking to people, or honestly, even like one-on-one, you get together and you talk with somebody. But like, there's nothing that can replace the energy and the transformation that you get when you're in person. And then on top of that, in person, in a literal like hundreds of people around you that are vibrating at that same frequency and want the same thing and are not competing, but are like, oh, let's go, sister. Let's go. Let's go. So what rooms do you need to get in for your 2025 and beyond goals? What rooms? Is it going to be the Ultra Mastermind that I'm releasing that starts January 1st? And you can have the bonus month of December. If you join, it's going to actually doors open December 1st. You can join anytime in December and get that entire month as a bonus. And the mastermind starts January through June of next year. Is that the room? You want to be surrounded by other people who value their health and fitness and getting in the best shape of their life while they go after a big as fuck business professional life goal? Is that the room that's calling to you in this next season when you're like, no, I'm serious. I'm not putting my health and my fitness on the back burner anymore. I want to be surrounded by people that think fucking big, want to challenge themselves and go after something, right? Is it a conference? Is it a race? Is it all of the above? I would recommend. But get yourself in the fucking rooms, you guys. Okay. This was so powerful for me. Okay. And let's kind of go from that. Being in the room, another lesson, and what I took from that is relationships. I was able to connect right there. I would say a minimum of like 20 incredible women, again, all having big thoughts, dreams, and goals and belief in themselves. I would say at least 20 in person, aside from the ones that were all like still connecting online and Instagram, even if we didn't actually get to meet in person. But because we all were at this event, we all know we have something in common and connect and have common ground on. So I have 20 relationships, whether this is like these become clients, these become sisters, and we grow and get after our goals together. But it's like, shoot, it's the community that I'm going to take home with me. We're going to stay in touch. We're going to keep each other accountable. We're going to keep going after things together now, right? Because I've made these incredible relationships. And another one, a couple of the other things on the relationship land was I got to room me and my roomie Mariah, and I will have to maybe tag everybody in this podcast. But we had just met a few months ago and knowing about this conference, and we roomed together, and that having that one-on-one beautiful friendship time to like even go a little bit deeper and connect throughout the conference and have that was also super powerful. So I'm walking away with an even closer relationship than when I left, like a new bestie, right? And now I have these other powerful 20 women. Could you imagine so I just want to like take a step back here. Could you imagine in relationship land? Listen, you guys, I know, like we're adults now. I'm 39 years old. Like we have, kids and busy and work and things. It's hard to find people you truly like connect with, right? And that that support you and lift you up and fill your cup. I want you to imagine if you gained 20 new, like really close people that can fill your cup. And actually, there's probably at least 3 to 4 that we're like going to be like tight, like friends like this moving forward. And I'm building that circle. I've been building that circle. I've had another amazing sisterhood friendship that started earlier this year that we are so fucking aligned. Like, imagine if you truly had this pod, this brother and sisterhood of like, your 5, 10 closest, not necessarily of the lifetime friends. I have some of those too, but like not necessarily the lifetime friends that you're comfortable with and you do the same things, and they're like, oh yeah, good for you. But I'm talking like lift you up and you say, this is what I want to go after. And they're like, let's go. You got this. How can I help? How can I help? Imagine that when you're trying to get in the best shape of your life, that's the circle you're in, is you have 5 really close people you can like say connect with on your workouts and healthy eating and fueling and how it's going. And then you have the second layer of like 20 more people. And truly, I've created like probably more like 50 of those like second layer relationships in the last year. Just imagine how much more supportive that is, right? So where do you want to invest in and build relationships around who you are and where you're at in life? That could be, honestly, a lot of times I've done that with like going to group runs, again, races, conferences. Maybe there's a specialty gym that's like you strength training. So what is that space that you're going to be able to cultivate and actually build relationships, right? That is so huge. Okay. Let alone like one that's just huge for the support, let alone if you're like, hey, I need help with this Instagram thing. I need help with this. Like, what do you think about this business move here? What do you think about this workout thing here? Right. So it's like for the actual like relationship closeness of it to like vent or share. But then there's also like, it's like a mini mastermind when you have friends in the same industry or in business as entrepreneurs, as athletes, and you get to like, hey, this is what's going on. And you could just like, boom, get answers, right? Okay. Um, okay. This next lesson is this one, and somebody else said this too. Be you. Essentially, be more of you. This was a room, I mean, I feel like every woman was so different. None of us were the same in how we, dressed and showed our best queen selves in what we did. I remember actually speaking to this one queen at lunch, and I just remember being like, there's might be somebody in finance or coaches on money or whatever, but they looked so different, their businesses and who they were and their personalities in this. And it really made you see the power that like, no, we're not meant to do it just like cookie cutter. And this is going to relate to your health and fitness and to your business or your life. And like, we are not meant to just be these cookie cutters and this tell me what to do. Just somebody tell me, do this massive workout, do this massive cookie cutter eating plan, do this massive like strategy for business. This is how you do it. No, what was so freaking clear as day was fucking do you. Who are you? And pull that out, pull it out more, pull it out more. This is something I've really been working with my clients lately in, and it's been so incredible to see the transformations come out. I've been doing this work myself this last fall, and I've just had literal transformational shifts and changes happen with myself and my business because it's like, no, what do you want? Over and over again. No, but really, take away the shoulds. This is how it should look. This is the box we've been putting ourselves in as women or as business owners or as in our fitness and our health and what the best workouts are and the best diet and blah, 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 right? No, fucking like share that. If you're not watching the YouTube video, I'm making a lot of actions with my hands right now. Like throw that shit away. Be you. The more you can be, the more results you will get was a clear theme throughout the speakers and throughout the space. All the women just so incredibly different in their own way. And it was beautiful. And it made you see like you don't have to compare. What I'm doing is like nothing else that anybody else is doing. I will say it was super fun, you guys. I was like the sporty spice of the conference. There was absolutely nobody else dressed like me or offering or doing what I do. I guarantee you I was the only ultramarathon athlete there. And just like my style and my energy and what I bring to the table. There's nobody else, absolutely nobody even coming close to that like me there. And another woman would say the same thing. She was the only one, representing this or doing it that way and this in all these really specific ways that was her. And it's fucking beautiful. So how can you take this? That when you're thinking about, this is how I want you to dissect this and take this for you, is when you're thinking about your workouts, who are you? What resonates with you the most? Not, I should be doing strength training because it's good for menopause after 40. Like, if you may get there, you may eventually get there and find that. But if right now you're just like, man, I really like to be outside and walk, then do that. Do you. And it doesn't mean we don't shift and change and pivot. Listen, right? Like, I'm in the middle of my start a 4-week higher volume weightlifting 3 times a week for at least an hour. I haven't done this since I was like 20 because I pivoted, right? I'm still going to run ultras and I'm still going to run endurance, but I've shifted less of that and more of the lifting in this particular season with my new goals that I have, right? I was not doing these same workouts last year because that is not what I wanted. This year, I'm clear as fuck what I want and I'm getting after it, right? So right now, today, November 2024. And when you're thinking about your 2025, what do you want? And allow your freak to fly. Okay. What do you want for your workouts? What sounds exciting and lights you up? For fueling, what do you want? Like, what really is like, if you're like just dying because you keep trying to do this keto low carb thing, and yet you love a glass of wine or a beer once in a while, and you like chocolate like me, and I have it most days, right? And I can still see my abs, y'all. It's possible. Okay. Stop trying to fit yourself in some mass cookie cutter box for your goals, for how you achieve it. Get out of the box. Okay. Like, literally take the box off, and I want you to like shine and be yourself. That is how these women got to where they were. They were them. And the more them they were, the more money they made, the more impact they made, the more time they had with their families. So how does that look for you in your business, professionally, in your best shape of your life goals? And you guys, of course, if you're like, yeah, Samantha, like I hear that, but I don't know. And your brain starts to battle, that's what coaching is for. That's what the mastermind is for. That's what I've been working with my client in every single week for the last couple months. And every time we're like, oh, and it goes like from this big funnel, think about like a big funnel all the way down to this more like little, to be like, oh, this is actually what works for me, because most of us have been conditioned to do what we're told to do, right? Like as kids, as a young age, or do what everyone else is doing because that's what gets results. And then we want to get what they have. So we're like, okay, let's do what they're doing, right? Instead of going inside of us, instead of listening to our gut, to our intuition, to checking in with us, to trusting ourselves again, to having our own backs, that yes, this is actually what I want. I've just been like covered with shame and judgment and guilt and society and culture and what my mom says I'm going to do and my dad says, right? So we just have to start to, and that can take some layers and some time to work, not just like you hear this podcast and you're like, okay, this is what I want. And then before you know it, you're questioning yourself and you're like, I don't know if this is what I want. Like, or I don't know if this is what I want, but I don't know how to frick to do it. Ding, ding, ding. This is where coaching comes in. Okay. Okay. So that was just such a clear as day lesson. Woo. Let me see. Okay. I think I've got one more here. And that is, so when I was going into this conference, I was really open about it. I was really like, basically like I was open to receive the magic of the lessons and experiences that came from it. I didn't go in being like, I'm going to meet 20 people and I'm going to sign 5 clients and I'm going to have 40 follow-up calls. There was no strategy like that was so specific to go into this conference with. It was really just like I was there to open and receive. I didn't even know. I know like 2 of the speakers, and even then, like I just found him on Instagram a few months earlier. But even saw their Instagram a few times and that was it. So I hadn't done all this research. I didn't know all the speakers. I didn't have all these like set goals for this conference. I really went into it being like ready to receive the magic. Just open to what the universe and God was going to give to me. Just being so open and expansive. And from that place, that is how I got these amazing relationships that I made. And even what I want to even share is like the magic came when like we didn't get a break the first, it was like 8:30 a.m. I think until like 1:30 almost was the first day. It was jam-packed, which was amazing. But you have some coffee and water, you got to step out and use the restroom. And actually I barely had any coffee. So the first day I stepped out around 10 or so to go up to the resort to get a coffee, just stretch my legs for a minute. And when I did that, I met this wonderful, beautiful woman and we connected. And we really connected. I was like, ooh, like I want to connect with you after this. I think that first day was Catalina, and she does these silent disco parties in West Palm Beach. And I was like, ooh, like that would be fun to have one of those up here in Asheville. And also just for events to be able to talk to her because I want to be hosting some events this next year. So the magic came. I wasn't like, I'm going to go get a coffee at 10 and try and meet everybody that I can. I was just like, I'm going to go get a coffee and stretch my legs. And lo and behold, there was this beautiful woman who was also waiting for her coffee. And we got to walk back together and connect. It was so magical. And there was the next day, the same thing. I did the same thing when I walked out for a coffee. And then I wore my sneaks. If you guys haven't heard of Sneaks by Sarah Blakely, they're her new sneaker heel. Y'all, Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, if you don't know. And she came out with these sneaks like a few months ago, and I totally snagged a pair. And I was getting compliments on them the second day of the conference that I wore them. And that allowed me to connect with this fabulous woman. She was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yo, you can try them on. So like she found me later and tried on my sneaks. And that was just a beautiful, magical moment that I couldn't have planned for. And now I'm going to get to stay connected and get to know this incredible woman. Like all these little things, right? So I was really holding the space for magic. So what I want to offer for you guys in that is where and how are you holding the space for more magic in regards to the things that you're doing, that you're saying yes to towards your goals? Instead of trying to like manhandle them and your results and your goals and like overcomplicating and having so much strategy. And instead, where you just letting go and holding the space for magic that can come to you, right? If we are like squeezing on so tight and we're just strategy focused, and if I don't get this workout and that workout and eat this exact macro and calorie count, and it's just specific business strategy like this, and we're so tight and wound up, and we're just looking like this, like if you see my hands are like at my center face, like so narrow. So just, like literally I can physically feel that in my body, like the letting go. Again, you guys can watch this on YouTube if you want to see all of this in action, but just letting go and how that invites in the magic of getting the results. Okay. I could go on for another 30 minutes about the magic of my ultramarathon results. How I took that first place female when I totally was not expecting it at all, had not been training for that. That was not the goal. I thought I was going to walk. And in fact, because I just was like open to receiving and just having a good time, I ended up doing so well that I took first place. One of the best races in my life. And I have many more stories like that. So where are you guys? Let go, release, relax. That doesn't mean just not relax doesn't mean like, oh, well, I don't have to do this today. No. You're still going after your goals, but you're holding the space for the magic that will come in the moments when you're not so pressure tight. And this is the beauty too of the coaching containers in my coaching is I hold the space for our intuition, for our magic to happen, for what you want versus like, yes, I give guidelines and even strategies 1,000%, but they're holding the space of the container to still allow for the magic to happen and for the fun to be in there too, right? And that's why we don't count calories or macros in my world. I have these guidelines, these 5 guidelines around fueling that are just these beautiful, like it's a beautiful container to hold you in so you don't freak out and you're not like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, but tell me what to do. So like, here we go. I'm going to hold you here. And now you get to do you and play in that space to find like that right, beautiful, magical mix for you. Okay. So find some more magic in your life, in the moments, and going after your goals and dreams. Don't make it so, like, and so much strategy that you can't just relax and have fun. And actually, so let's just end it with that one. Like, there's this wonderful speaker, Shoshana, towards the end. And she came on stage and she was just like loose and dancing. Of course, we had a lot of dancing, you guys. This is Freedom Queen Live. That was incredible. I miss dancing. And she just got on stage and brought the energy. And I mean, just the feeling you got from watching her and all of us also dancing with her was just light and free and magical and energizing even, like, and her what she was speaking about and how she runs her business is very much that way of like, guys, like, let's let go. And actually I made a note of this for a post I want to make specifically, is like, let go of your grip of there being a right strategy, like that you keep trying to outsource your strategy. You're like, whether it's for your best shape of your life and you're like, no, like, somebody tell me what to do, what to eat, what workouts to do. You just are outsourcing. And don't get me wrong, there are certain, like, I have a training plan right now, like, that I have outsourced. Yes. And there is still room within that I'm going to work with my coach on, my trainer, to find still the magic of what works for me, right? And even then, I found her specifically. I didn't just follow some cookie cutter plan. I found her to work with me, right? So in this, just this like sense of, I think I got off on a tangent there, just strategy, let go. Like, I feel like I see this a lot where people are so like, well, in business, well, I got to post like this so many times and this way on Instagram. And then I have to do it like this for my offers. And then I have to do it like in the strategy and the email. There's so much strategy. Or with your health, you're like, I have to like these macros every day or these calories every day and these rules and these restrictions and these workouts. And if I don't get it all in this perfect strategy and these 10 different things, let go, you guys. I would really offer, how can you let go of I would like cut the fat of all the strategy things you're trying to do. And how can you tap more into, again, what you want, what lights you the up in all the areas. And like really just this like, what energizes you? It makes you so excited that like, you just like, you show up in all your glory and who you are. And that's what gets the results. Just let go of this strategy and make it much more simple and more fun. That was what this Shoshana showed me. And I feel like also was just a theme, is like, let go. It's too much strategy. Like, we're all trying to like tell me what to do, then these things and all of these things. And I better do all of these things. It's like, shoo. Wipe the table clean. I like to even tell my clients, like, take a white erase board. It's like we're erasing all the stories and all of the things we have to do and be like, what's like just the simple, right? So simple stuff. And for example, like even when I'm thinking about like my lifting plan. So, and the way that I also made it simple was I did outsource to get this training plan, but it was very specific for my goals and what I want. So she knows exactly what I want to make that plan. And she knows my life to make that plan. So together based on me sharing this and her expertise, it was 3 days a week for like an hour lift, right? And I could complicate that. And I could say that, well, I need to do this. They say on the internet, or professionals or people, or we know, research says that you should do a dynamic warm up of like 15 minutes before this, 10 to 15 minutes before this. And then I should stretch and do a cool down. And I should leave a 1 day in between the workouts as a rest day. And I shouldn't do leg day when I have a big run the next day, right? I could complicate the fuck out of my training plan and put all those rules. And guess what? I have done this. That is why I also got a trainer recently, is because I was like, I was complicating it for myself because I know all the rules, quote unquote. And I was too focused in on strategy and the perfect and the best and doing all the things right, instead of just like let go. You know what? Now that I've let go, I've gotten my workouts in. I did 2 back-to-back workouts. Big fucking deal. The point is to get it in. Like, right? I've been doing my workouts and it's been going phenomenal. You guys are going to get a podcast on my updates because this is week 4 of training. So I will do a podcast on that separately. But it is going so amazing because all my simple plan is just get those 3 lifts in. Doesn't matter if it's morning, if it's nighttime, if I ate before, if I ate after, if it's like back to back, it doesn't matter. It's just these 3 workouts. That's what I got to do. That's it. And that feels so light and energizing to me, right? Versus, well, I have to do this and that, and then I can't do it like this, and then I can't do it like that. So how many of you guys are getting all up in your heads and too much strategy? Just let that shit go, okay? All right, you guys, these are the lessons that I am taking away. I'm sure there's more, but these are the ones that really come top of mind that I'm taking away from this incredible Freedom Queen Live conference. If you guys have any questions or you want to poke further, like reach out. I want to connect with you guys. If you were there at the conference and you're now listening to my podcast, let's connect even more. I want to hear from you. I hang out on Instagram at Samantha Nivens, and that last name is Nivens. I will have that in the show notes. I would love to hear from you guys. If you were at Freedom Queen Live, any of your takeaways. If you guys are listening to this and you weren't there, share your takeaways. Please share this podcast too with anyone you think would find value from it and could use hearing these lessons. The more we share this and give a 5-star rating and review, the more people we will be able to bring together to our support system and our pod. And finally, if you guys are interested in the Ultra Mastermind, you can simply DM me on Instagram and would love to have a conversation with you guys to see what's possible for you in 2025 or even start in December of 2024 so you can hit the ground running just like I'm going to do in 2025. All right, you guys, so great to see and be with you here. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.